their apps is Espionage. Spoiler, it is. Running just a hair behind this morning. Need to go grab a cup of coffee to get moving on. So I'm going to leave you guys for just a moment with this banger, The Cost of Free.
Click accept, click agree. Then blue line of legal liens. Scripture grace offered, cost deferred. Grace offered, cost deferred, consent. Permission move without a sound. No smoke, no horns, no warnings found. Just clean glass walls and open hands while something sacred changes hands. Free up hums inside the hand. Warm and gray and perfectly planned. Teachers comfort, teachers need. Feeds the hunger, it will see. Nothing taken, nothing gone. Just rewritten what it means to be. Salt exchange, the circle closed before you felt what changed in me. No receipt to certify what dissolved when you replied. No cash, no coin, no price in view. Just a door left open into you. Ownership just slipped through you. If the product is free, then the product is you. Say it once, let it bruise through the screen, through the deal, through the nerves you used to feel. If the product is free, then the product is you. Soft control, dressed as truth. Every choice, every cue trains the silence inside you. Play for free just long enough. Learn the rules, then raise the cost. Dorian lanes, velvet touch. Win once, now pay your rot. Freemium worlds with concrete skies. Great menus where the spirit dies. Skins for power, buffs to breathe. Progress locked behind a need. Pay to win or stay behind. Daily life, just risk and grind. Work to unlock another tier. Rent a future month by year. Free porn altar, glowing blue. Instant heaven, permanent bruise. Pleasure strip the skin and risk. Leaves you hollow, efficient brisk. Free trials time like loaded dice. Game of chicken with your life. Calendar ticks, the charge goes through. You did and when it won you. Nothing free beneath the skin. Every demo lets you in. If the product is free, then the product is you. Read it slow, it's still true. No upfront cost, no visible fee. You paid in who you're trained to be. If the product is free, then the product is you. Say it clean, say it crude, or lock out in bone and proof. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Great towers, white lights, subscription cages, lifetime price. Play for free. Pay to win. Or lose slow. They don't beat you, they meter you. Throttle hope till you comply. Every door has levels now. Every breath, the price to try. Nothing forced, nothing seized. Just incentives tuned with ease. You were known, you were ensouled. You stay grind and growing old. The devil doesn't need a throne. He built systems, leaves you alone. Optimized and rolled the line. You paid in time, will and mind. And if the product is free, then the product is you. Not a threat, a simple truth. Mirror law and concrete sound. Circle close, the deck comes round. If the product is free, then the product is you. Say it once, now say it through. Old as sin, sharp and blunt. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Receipt breathes, balance waits. If the product is free,
all right, good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. So here's what happened was I was putting the show together. I had everything set up. And then with the last about 5 minutes on the clock, I was looking for an example of one of these ice trackers to show you guys part of the conversation this morning. And I realized, oh, shit, it's 7:30. I better get this thing going. Sergeant Major says, tell it, son. Davos is learning the truth. And yes, so the stuff going on in Davos is interesting. I'm not going to talk about it this morning because I want to see more before I get into it. So this morning, I want to talk about this this viral tweet out of this group, Blue Lives Matter. And this, guys, this is... I find this especially interesting because it's a different flavor of something I've talked about already. Which is the logistics of the culture war. We are in fact in a war right now in the United States. There is a war going on. Minnesota is the current active battlefield, right? So these Blue Lives Matters guy, we're not saying that Blue Lives Matter was behind feeding false information to far left anti-ICE protesters. We're not saying we had teams comprised of hundreds of off-duty cops and veterans volunteer to run decoy operations so far-left activists thought they were conducting ICE raids. Guys, I wish I'd have known this was going on because my car looks like my daily driver, my Expedition. It's even gunmetal gray. I mean, it looks like a Fed truck, and that's not by accident. We're not saying they were in fact, they were just driving around in what appeared to be unmarked vehicles with tinted windows, drinking coffee and listening to Guns N' Roses, being chased down and surrounded by protesters. I'd love to play this game. What we are saying is that if it did happen, it sure worked remarkably well in 9 different states, allowing actual raids to successfully take place unimpeded, helping support the capture of hundreds of criminals. Combat veterans, off-duty officers, and patriotic Americans have had enough of the radical left and are being activated across the country to back our law enforcement. And they're smarter, more skilled, more driven, better trained than the left, and actually enjoy sitting in a deer stand for days and just waiting. Actually, I saw a great video the other day. Was it was just some redneck sitting in a deer stand with his bow and arrow, whispering into the camera, like, "Hey, you want to do an invasion? You want to come to America and do an invasion? Because, like, you see what I'm doing right now? I'm just up here with my bow, right? I'm going to sit here until I see something shoot. Y'all don't understand. This is what we do for fun." I thought that was pretty solid. Oh, got a chuckle out of it. But yeah, let's talk about what they're talking about in this tweet. So, just driving around looking like ICE. One of the things that's going on in these protest locations in Minnesota, this is happening over and over again. They're just grabbing random white people. They're just grabbing random white guys off the street and saying, "You look like ICE," and harassing them and attacking them based on that. Based on you look like ICE. And by you look like ICE, they mean you're a white guy. Now, what's really funny about that is a lot of ICE, like 20% of ICE agents or something, some crazy number, are actually Hispanic, are Mexicans and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and whatever, who are lawful U.S. citizens who came here the right way and work for the government, throwing out bad brownies. And they apparently get a kick out of it. They're apparently having fun with it. So let's talk about what these things are. Here's one called Papers Over People, or People Over Papers, iceout.org, right? It says, our objective is to collect community-submitted information about possible ICE activity to help inform the public and raise awareness. Pay close attention to the words they're using here. All reports are viewed by our moderator team before appearing on the map. We categorize reports as either confirmed, which are submitted through trusted community partners such as RRNs and nonprofits. Somebody in the comments help me out. I don't know what RRNs. That acronym escapes me. Or non-confirmed, which come from the general public, because all reports involve human interpretation. We encourage users to review this information with caution and cross-reference it with their local or state rapid response networks. We do not condone any form of violence, harassment, or invasion of privacy. This is here just for CYA. This is straight cover your ass language, because guess what? The people using these apps are doing it for no reason other than to break the law, right? So, how does ICE out work? There are detainments, arrests, or raids, critical, active activity, questioning, canvassing, soft searches, interaction, observed, ICE walking around, eating, standing, driving, stopped, warnings about future raids, etc. Agencies with no immigration authority and non-operational activity. Unreviewed, not yet reviewed. Okay. Right. Confirmed versus not confirmed. Got that. Every day at 4 a.m. Eastern, the map clears and starts fresh. When you pick a specific date, you'll see all reports submitted between 4:01 of that day through 4 o'clock of the next day. And no, we are not going to donate to this group. So we're going to look at it says no reports have been published today, but this is this is a website that these activists are using to report on where they see ICE activity, and that's not the only one. There's another one here called ICE Tracker. That one's in under construction, but these ICE Tracker apps are very much out there, part of the world right now. And I've got this article here. Well, this X post here. Google Play hosts apps mapping ICE agent locations amid deportation surge. Eyes Up and Icebreaker remain on Google Play with thousands of downloads, allowing activists to record videos, pin locations, and get real-time alerts on immigration enforcement. Critics on X accuse them of doxing federal officers. They absolutely are doing that, echoing 2025 removals of similar apps after DOJ pressure over agent safety risks. Supporters call them vital tools for documenting abuses, while trolls flood maps with fake reports. Google has not commented on as the debate intensifies. That line right there, supporters call them vital tools for documenting abuses. So let's drill down on what you're actually seeing here. What's actually happening here? What the Blue Lives Matters guys are doing, running decoys, making false reports to these ICE agents reporting sites and the like. That's what we call COINTEL, counterintelligence procedure. Okay, they are running cover for our federal law enforcement. Now, we've talked many times in the past about my opinion of law enforcement generally, and it is not an especially high opinion. But the fact is, when our federal agents are doing the job, they're doing the actual work that we expect them to do. What these ICE agents are doing is not what your average cop does with most of his career, right? Your average police officer, he raises his hand, swears to uphold and defend the Constitution, and then spends 20 or 30 years basically revenue collecting traffic fines from law-abiding taxpayers. The average cop never deals with a legitimate criminal. Now, that said, the average cop is out there at risk because even if he never encounters one, there are dangerous criminals out there. And I mean dangerous criminals like Renee Good, for example. And I know that's a funny joke. No, it's not a funny joke. Renee Good was a dangerous criminal. Right? Let's take the most generous, reasonable interpretation of the footage of Renee Good's death. The most reasonable interpretation is that she panicked, and in attempting to flee, she struck an officer. She put his life in danger, and he acted accordingly by drawing his weapon and putting rounds into her. That is the most generous, reasonable interpretation of that footage. Now, the correct interpretation, as we covered when we did the footage analysis, 2 weeks ago now almost, you can see very clearly in the footage what happens is there's one officer by her window here, there's one officer over here. This officer's telling her to get out of the car because after several warnings, she's refusing to stop blocking traffic and obstructing operations. And as this office, as the guy that actually got hit is walking around this way, she backs the car up and adjusts the trajectory so that she's pointing at him, and then puts the pedal to the metal. And the only reason she didn't straight run him all the way over is because those tires broke loose on the ice. But given the most generous, the most charitable interpretation, which is that she didn't mean to kill him, the fact is that in that interpretation, what you're dealing with is a person who is out there actively engaged in intentionally breaking the law, interfering with lawful operations by our federal agents, and then, because she's a deranged sociopath, in her panic, she escalated what was not a threat to life to a threat to life. So when I say there are dangerous criminals out there who are a constant threat, right? We've seen, I forget his name now, but there's this one cat whose face keeps popping up on Twitter screaming, come get me, Pam Bondi. And, okay, fair play, Pam Bondi is a complete disappointment. Well, okay, that's not fair. I should not say that Pam Bondi's a complete disappointment. That would very unfairly suggest that I ever expected her to be of value to begin with. But I've had a very, very low expectation and low opinion of Red Flag Barbie since before she was confirmed. Oh man. Okay. Okay, that's solid. I was scrolling looking for this dude's picture, but that right there is damn funny. That right there is damn funny. It doesn't say what his name is though, but I was hoping to find the video of that guy to make that point. But anyway, that. Okay, I know. I just started scrolling and went to dead air. I apologize. William Kelly. William Kelly is the guy's name. Dope woke farmer. Claims to be a veteran. Claims to be a combat veteran.
I'm a combat infantry veteran. I'm a patriot. I'm a defender of human dignity. But we went in there and we preached the words of Jesus at them. Jesus said to love thy neighbor. Jesus said to welcome aliens from faraway places. But we're terrorists? They're calling me a professional agitator now? Well, yes, I am. I am an agitator because people need to be agitated. What they're doing to this nation is unconstitutional. It is inhumane. It is treason. It is disgusting. That is a white supremacist church. As long as that pastor is allowed to preach there, it is a hateful church. Those are not.
So apparently, I have to look this up, but this guy's saying that he got booted from the army with a bad conduct discharge. He was in from 07 to 11, but his stories don't add up. No combat infantry vet, no Afghanistan deployment, no warrant officer gig. Says, he was a 42 Alpha. Oh. He was a 42 Alpha. Court-martialed for stealing. And, okay. And an alcoholic. And Sergeant Major points out combat vets are sometimes nuts. That is also true. I really wish I had like official documentation to back that up, because I wasn't going to make any claim about him being. I was just going to say he was probably a shitbag. But 42 Alpha, that's usually a certain flavor of soldier. Fit Danny. Hey, Fit Danny says, so as someone who lives in Minnesota, I can say that I, for one, don't consider. Oh, Danny, honey. Oh my God. Okay. Danny doesn't consider certain types of people to be good neighbors. Oh, I am very cautiously not going to put your comment up on the screen. But hey, Danny, you should be watching on Rumble. You should be watching on Rumble. Get off that YouTubes. But it's just good to see you this morning, Sunshine. We miss you. That whole train of thought just completely broke my trajectory here. Where was that? Oh, okay. So the ice trackers. Let me help you understand the ice trackers and what should correctly be understood about this. Yes, you have the First Amendment right in public to record, observe anything you can see with your eyes in public. But, what these ice trackers are doing hey, a greater Miyaka Waka Waka. We've got our soy queer spiteful mutant back in the chat. Thanks for popping in, brother. I appreciate you boosting the algos for me. So let me get back to the ice tracker to be clear about what this is. That's an intelligence network. Okay? And like I just showed you a minute ago with the people over papers, that network is funded by foreign NGOs. That means that these ICE protesters, are being organized, at least in part, by foreign actors. Even if those foreign actors aren't state actors. Like we did our deep dive on left-wing violence, where we detailed the immutable fact, the unignorable fact, that Antifa is an international organization. It is not Antifa rioters, Antifa protesters are not domestic terrorists. They are foreign terrorists. They are international terrorists. They are a global terrorist network, right? And it's these same kind of foreign actors who are funding these protests. What does that mean legally, distinctly? ICE operations, you're talking about federal agents making movement. Troop movement is always FOUO at a minimum. Now, fair play, that's for military. That's when you're talking about military, actual soldiers and troops to give it that FOUO, for official use only classification. Let me check my notes. There's a different classification when you're talking about law enforcement. It's law enforcement sensitive is LES. Yeah, law enforcement sensitive, or what's the other one? There's another designator that's used for that. that category as well. SBU, sensitive but unclassified. Sergeant Major says almost all NGOs are funded by U.S. taxpayers through foreign aid, defense spending, and tax deductions. Yes, except we shut down USAID, Dad, and so a lot of the funding sources for the current extant NGOs are now foreign. They're taking foreign investment, precisely because Elon and Big Balls came in and shut down all the NGO funding through USAID. And our spiteful mutant troll says protesters are not terrorists. That is correct. That's right. Protesters are not terrorists. Protesters don't throw Molotov cocktails. Protesters don't assault law enforcement officers with their vehicles. Protesters don't murder people in the street. Protesters don't smash down the front doors of private buildings and interrupt church services. So you're right. Protesters are not terrorists. You make a very, very good point there. Miyaka Waka. You make a very good point there, Miyaka Waka. Protesters are not terrorists. That's correct. And the people that you see in Minneapolis and Minnesota right now, the guys raiding the church, right? Your Renee Goods running over police officers and law enforcement officers with their cars, they're not protesters. They have a First Amendment right to peaceably assemble, to speak freely, to practice the press, to petition their government for a redress of grievances. Where's the petition? Where's the petition? You're right. Protesters are not terrorists. Terrorists terrorize people in their homes and on the streets. Right? When you're standing on a street corner holding a sign and even being vociferous and vulgar, but making an explicit statement, you're a protester. When you start aiding and abetting criminal activity, and that's another piece of the espionage puzzle here. The direct beneficiary of the activity are foreign actors. And I don't mean foreign actor in this context. I understand. I'm not saying foreign actors as in just the individual hostile foreign invaders, the individual criminal illegal aliens that these terrorists are protecting from law enforcement. But understand the broader beneficiaries here who are also funding these protests are the cartels, are the non-governmental foreign organizations who benefit from the trafficking of brown flesh and illegal drugs into our country. So you're absolutely right, Miyaka Waka. Protesters are not terrorists. But we're not talking about protesters, are we? We're talking about organized crowds conducting illegal operations, which are carefully organized through these ICE tracker networks. That's espionage. If the ICE tracker networks are funded even $1 from a foreign entity and are being used to conduct not just criminal activity, but an active and, by the way, now armed insurrection, right? Unlike the fabled January 6th, these protesters have guns and are threatening and making threats with those guns, right? That is, so these ICE tracker apps, that's espionage. And under the law, if you've got the app on your phone and you're actively using it, right? I can make an argument. An argument could be made that I just showed the app to you guys, and so maybe I exposed myself to a little bit of legal concern there. But I think I'm being pretty clear what the intent in this operation is, to expose these things for what they are. That's what's happening here. Is organized groups are conducting operations against the interests of the American people, against the lawful, legitimate operation of the federal government, and they're using these ICE tracker apps to coordinate it. That means they're engaged in the conduct of espionage. Quite simply, our law enforcement needs to be enforcing the law. Not a one of them should be not a one of them should still be free on the street. Larry Neville says, hey, Miaka Waka, your sensor tube account is less than a month old. Yeah, he's probably a Mossad agent. So I think I've made the point there, and I'm going to go ahead and put a pen in this one. So y'all be safe out there, guys. Thanks for watching this morning. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.